Madam President, you said that you joined or you worked in IT, right?
My first job was in a bank and I didn't particularly enjoy that, so I ended up going back to night school.
I read in your biodata that you were working with Star News.
I loved it. I just was like a duck to water. I really, really enjoyed it.
Your association with Innoveel is for 35 long years.
They didn't seem that long at the time, to be quite honest.
The motto of our Innoveel, friendship, holds very true.
Number one.
Number one, yes, very true. And that's very nice to know.
Or with the Innoveel Club of Pune downtown. And there were 40 children in the room. None of them could hear and none of them could speak. And they put on a concert. The girls danced, the boys did karate, and they showed us some of the things that they did. The school is absolutely amazing.
Like when I was the NR, there was a flood in one of the states of India, Kerala. And then quite a few villages were washed off with the flood. And at that time, what we do as a NR or as an association president, we raise an appeal to all the clubs to give the donations, and then we create a fund only for that particular situation, and then we do the projects. Greetings to our international Innoveel family from all over the world. We are here today to meet our international Innoveel president, Morland, and we are going to know from her views about the Innoveel, its future, and the benefit to the membership all over the world. Kay, as you like us to call you, and you do not believe in the formalities of calling you as International Innoveel President every time that we address you, good morning to you and welcome to this interview today in the city of Pune, where you have come for visit to India, Association of Innoveel Clubs in India and Innoveel District 313. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Smita. I appreciate it. And you're right. I actually, Kay is my name. International Innoveel President is a position, but it's not necessary every time we meet or every time we communicate. So thank you for that.
That is so very nice of you, Madam President. We really feel that a leader should be down to earth, and that's how exactly we find you, and we feel very happy about it. We would like to go through your journey in Innoveel in short so that our members get to know you well, know the Innoveel in depth and what it holds for members in future worldwide. So I would like to know from you that our International Innoveel is one of the largest women's organization in the world with over 1 lakh membership. We have representation in 102 countries and over 4,000 clubs all over the world. And when you enter as a leader at the International Innoveel, we are always eager to know your background, your childhood, your education, family background, and how you entered Innoveel.
Wow, that's a long story. And so I should start at the beginning. I was born in a small town in country Victoria in Australia, the middle child, which presents its own problems, and have two brothers, one older and one younger. I grew up on the Mornington Peninsula on the coast in Victoria near Melbourne, and spent my childhood swimming down the beach and doing all the things that Australian kids loved to do back then. My parents were both involved in the church, so that's where my brothers and I joined the church choir, the church youth groups. I used to teach Sunday school, and ended up joining a group of 3 other fellows and 3 boys and myself, and a folk group, and we used to sing in coffee bars, cafes around the area for a few years until everybody got married and moved on. My first job was in a bank. and I didn't particularly enjoy that. So I ended up going back to night school, and I worked from then on. I got a job in what was called then data processing, which now we all know as IT.
Okay.
So I worked in IT from when I was about 16.
Oh, great.
Back a long time ago when things were bigger and not so clever as they are now. But it was good because you learnt the fundamentals. So I did spend over 30 years working in IT, in finishing up doing system design and analysis for IBM, and then project management and systems management. When I finished with IT, my children were grown, and I really didn't want to be at the beck and call 24 hours a day. So I finished doing that, and I moved into advertising. So I did advertising sales for a number of years for 3 or 4 different companies, which I really enjoyed because not necessarily good at selling, although I've been told I'm good at bargaining. But so not terribly good at selling, but what I enjoyed was the people and the relationship building with the clients. So I actually found a measure of success doing that. And I retired from that, really. I did a little bit of advertising sales from home, working for myself for a railway industry magazine, which was interesting. But that was pretty much my working life.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
yeah.
You said that you joined or you worked in IT right in the that time of the days.
Back in the
And
1960s.
oh, that's really, that means you have a real feel of how the IT began.
Mhm.
And now it has reached to this stage where we have very high tech technology to take care of our day to day work, including the artificial intelligence, which is now has started ruling our lives and giving us the direction, sometimes maybe in our benefit.
Yeah, artificial intelligence it's a little bit of an oxymoron, really, because it has to have been written by somebody in the first place. So it's programmed exploration of a huge database of information.
True.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it of itself, it's not intelligent, but it is in as much as it's got a question, and then there's a lot of data there with flags on it to say if you're looking for this information, if you're looking for that, this is where you find it.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. My phone is smarter and holds more data than the huge IBM machine I was first introduced to back in the late 1960s. So yeah.
That is very interesting to know. And I would like to say to our viewers that our International Innovil president has in depth knowledge about the IT, and she knows how to go about it and how to use it in the benefit of Innovil when she is discharging her duties as International Innovil. That's, I think, a great advantage one can have, and that Kay has to her credit. She also mentioned that she has worked with advertising agency, and may it not be a direct sale, but she got a hang of more of relationship building, and that's what exactly we do at Innovil. So she, you know how this president of ours is really at has benefited from the jobs that she has done in her career, and here she is giving the best out of it, the knowledge that she has collected in these jobs to International Innovil. So, Kay, we would like to know that I read in your biodata that you were working with Star News.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, a little bit about that.
Well, I worked for them it was interesting. I was getting a bit fed up with IT at the time. And my husband and I were acquainted with the people who actually owned the newspaper, and their son was the manager. And he actually came to me and said, "Why don't you come and work for me and sell advertising?" And I said, "I've never sold anything in my life. How could I do that?" So he said, "Well, you come, we'll try for 3 months. If you don't like it, then you can leave. And if we don't think you're doing a good job, then you can leave.
Yes.
So I loved it. I just was like a duck to water. I really, really enjoyed it. So, and
Uh-huh.
they've been very kind to me for a number of years.
Oh, that's great. That's great to know. And after doing all these things, how or when did you start? How was your entry in a wheel?
Well, back then, of course, so I'm trying to think about what year it was. It would have been about 1990, I think, 1991, somewhere there. But your husband had to be a Rotarian. And my
Yes, at
husband,
that time, yes.
and my late husband was a Rotarian. And then I was visited by two of the ladies from the Inner Wheel Club of Berwick, Diana and Merle, and they came along and interviewed me and told me a little bit about Inner Wheel and asked me if I'd like to be involved. I was working at the time. I had sort of children to look after, but I was excited because I'd seen some of the work that these ladies did. And so we agreed that I would go along and for a couple of meetings and see if I enjoyed it. And so, of course, that worked out. And I've been a member now for about 35 years.
That is great to know. Your association with Inner Wheel is for 35 long years.
They didn't seem that long at the time, to be quite honest.
And so she knows Inner Wheel inside out. Do you have any experience to uh, tell us when you were at the club level in the beginning, or do you have any such memories to share with us?
I have a very vivid memory of the Inner Wheel Australia conference in, I think it might have been 1991 or 92, somewhere around there. And there was a group of us that dressed up like in very old style, the bathing caps that they used to wear and the pantaloons and in those were all different colours. Mine was yellow.
Uh-huh.
And the lady who led us was called Merle. So we were Merle and the Seed Pearls, and we actually sang at the conference, and everybody, it was fantastic. That was probably the first time that I had met a lot of members outside of my club. Because I was working, I really didn't even know people outside my district terribly well. But that was really my first introduction to the wider Inner Wheel world, and I'll never forget it. That's
a very wonderful experience you have shared with us. And I think each one of us has this experience that while we are Inner Wheel members, at some point of time, we participate in some kind of competitions or dances or something like that. And we get exposed to the members who are from outside of our club. And that is the point, I think, that takes off and makes us all more and more interested in a wheel. That is very true. Our horizons widen and we start feeling that, oh, this is a very lovely group of ladies where we can really display our many skills which we have. And more than anything else, probably the friends that we look forward to make with them. Isn't it, Kay?
Oh, absolutely. The support. Yes. Everybody has challenges through their life, and I lost my husband, and some other personal things have happened. I lost my brother, but the support that I've had from members all across the Inner Wheel world, as I knew it at the time, was just astounding. If you were ever in trouble, and I've some of my friends now whose husbands have passed, we've all talked about it, that where you get the most support and the most love, and the girls that you can depend on are Inner Wheel girls. Yes, always.
Oh yes, yes, and that is how the motto of our Inner Wheel, friendship, holds very true.
Number one.
Yes, very true, and that's very nice to know. More or less, this happens to most of us, that we, in the busy life today, we need support of friends, and that we exactly get to a very great extent from Inner Wheel. I would like to know how you started your role at your club level, because now you are at the highest peak level of International Inner Wheel as its president, and we feel very proud of you.
That's kind, thank you. So I I was only a member for about 4 years, I think, before I first got on the club committee, and did many things, correspondent, property officer, and moving up to treasurer, secretary, and president. I've been president twice. I think I've been secretary 2 or 3 times. Um, and I think it's not until you have a little more time and then you get onto the role of your district delegate that your inner wheel friendships start growing
Yes.
and spreading. So you actually form friendships outside of the district. And then when you get onto the district committee, and I think my first role on the district committee was as an editor. And once you get on there, then you start building. There's another level of friendship and inner wheel knowledge as well, because there's a lot of people there that can teach you, that you learn from while you're on district. So I can't remember actually now if I sat down and looked at it, I probably could, but obviously district, junior vice chairman, senior vice chairman, and then district chairman as well. And then from there, I moved on to council member, Inner Wheel Australia council member, which is our national governing body.
Yes.
And then from there, some years later, but I was still busy at that level, moved on to, I nominated for vice president as for Inner Wheel Australia and was successful. And so they were, I think, in my Inner Wheel journey thus far, the years that I was on the Inner Wheel Australia executive, I would count amongst my happiest and best in Inner Wheel. We achieved, but we had the most fun doing it. And I'm still to this day friendly with all those girls, very close. So, and then not long after that, from Inner Wheel Australia president, I became national representative.
National,
and
NR,
then
yes.
Yep. And from there, I nominated as board director and was successful. So that was my first taste of international Inner Wheel. Yeah. So that was, although I'd been to conferences before then, but I hadn't really. At conferences, you meet people, but because it's only for a short period of time, you enjoy their company, but you don't actually get to know them as well as you do if you're working with them on a committee at any level at all, really. So, so I was amazed and surprised after nominating for vice president. I thought that there was another candidate, and because I'm in Australia and we're 11 hours in front of, at that particular time of the year, I think 10 or 11 hours in front of Great Britain and the UK. And so I hadn't had a phone call. And so at about 10 o'clock, I went to bed thinking, oh, well, I gave it a try, and I hoped that the girl who was successful, I was mentally wishing her all the best. And at 11 o'clock, the phone rang, and I flew out of bed and picked up the phone to hear Trish Douglas tell me that I'd been successful. So I think I squealed and, whatever. And she congratulated me. I hung up, and then I think I cried. But it was that was very, very exciting.
Oh, yes, I can just imagine, because as I understand that, I don't know how elections are in other countries, but as far as Association of Inner Wheel Clubs in India goes, it's a huge organization here, and there are so many aspiring candidates to contest the election, and it is then very really challenging to come into that role and get elected. So I can just imagine when I got elected as a association vice president, I remember that, as you said, that you had already prepared yourself to give your best wishes to the other girl. In my case, I had absolutely forgotten, because that was 2nd of February. It was my birthday, and we were out of India enjoying. And I had forgotten that today the results are going to be there of the election. And when I received the call, twice it so happened I could not collect that call. But the third time, I really jumped out of my chair and I said, "Oh my God, today was the election result." So I can imagine how your reaction must have been at that particular
Mhm.
point of time.
The only
And
bad part about that was it was 11 o'clock at night and I couldn't ring and tell anybody. I had to keep it to myself till the morning.
that's really more difficult.
Yeah.
At such a happy moment when your energy is just overflowing
And you want to
and you
share it with
share,
somebody.
yes, and
Yeah.
with your
I,
friends and
much and all
family.
as I've got lots of really good friends, I don't think they'd congratulate me or
Yeah.
even thank me for
Yes.
ringing them and waking
Yes,
them up.
yes, yes. And also, just now, Kate told us that her first um, post that she did at the district level was the editor. And I felt very nice because I'm sitting here in front of you when I'm serving as the editor and media manager of the International Innoveel. And I'm really happy that I have got the chance of interviewing our international president for all of us to get the information from. The meaningful theme that you have given us as International Innoveel president, step up. So that step upward uh, is, I mean, it really triggers off that thought in mind that, oh, I have to really get going, I have to get up and get going and do something. So we would like to know how you thought of this interesting theme, and uh, how, for how long did you keep on thinking what theme you should be giving? Is that really a very difficult exercise for an international innovative president?
Extremely, can I just tell
I
you?
can believe, yes.
It wasn't my first thought. It was a variation on my first thought, and I was actually bouncing ideas off Yoxan Chen, our webmaster, who was very kindly being supportive. Um, and there was a couple of ideas I had, and we threw them around a bit. And it's a very long story, but an interesting one. One of the clubs close to the Inequal Club of Berwick, where I am, in our district, we had a function at our conference a few years ago, and they created they scrawled, I think you call them charity shops or opportunity. We call them opportunity shops.
Okay.
And they got really big, fancy lady shoes, very high, and always with lots of colour in them, or beads on them, or jewels of some sort, and they decorated them with flowers. And they were at this particular event, which was the gala dinner, they were the table centres. And so someone said to me, we can't all come over when you take on the role, but we would like to have a function for you. And, we've got these shoes we can use on the table. And then I thought, that made me think of stepping up. And I do, although I'm wearing flat shoes at the moment, I normally at home am quite renowned for my shoe collection.
Okay.
And so, all amongst the girls, the local girls. And so it sort of started all falling in together. And then when you think about the issues that not only Inner Wheel, but the Lions and Rotary and Seroptimists and all of those organisations are having,
Yes.
all volunteer organisations are having with membership,
Okay.
I thought, why not focus this year? Because, MAMTA did a fabulous job last year focusing on cervical cancer vaccinations, and that was really good. But I was looking for something that actually covered everybody, every country.
Yes.
And so I thought, why not try and encourage members to step up into a role, step up into something that they're not necessarily comfortable in a pair of those really big high shoes.
Yes.
But so the function that we had was to celebrate my stepping up.
Yes.
And at the time that we named that, they didn't know that the seed had been planted in my mind, and that was how. So it's step up and lead by example.
Yes.
Because that's what we need to do.
Very true, Madam President. And if you all have seen the first IIW newsletter, which was titled as Crowning Glory, it has covered Madam President's photos of changing over the chain of the International Inner Wheel President, that is called as changeover. and so many installation functions that she was invited to, and such interesting things, her explanation about the theme. And if you have seen very carefully, there was a nicely decorated two shoes which were kept on the table, and that was the function which was hosted in honor of our president K. And that is how she explained us how really the thought process begins in our mind, but this is so meaningful step up. And it gives us a message that in whichever role that you are, start leading
Mm.
by example. So that's a
But not only. I mean, it's an advantage within the with our inner wheel clubs, districts, and national governing bodies, etc. But it's also true when you're out there in the community. Like it's just somebody drops something, so go forward and pick it up and give it to them and give them a smile. They'll give you a smile.
yes.
Just greet people with a smile. Just be kind to people, and show other people. You can make that's a form of stepping up, of leading. If you show people kindness, right? Kindness, like a smile, is contagious.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, yeah, it's not only just applicable to our inner wheel world, but also to the service that we do outside of inner wheel and in our everyday lives.
Yes, very true. Very well said, Madam President. And this is a very good and a very meaningful, in depth message that just now, while speaking here in this small interview, our President has given even to a member at a club level, a grassroots level, irrespective of the posts that they are doing, whether it is club level, district level, association, national level, or at international level, that in our day to day lives also we can be very kind to people, and we are here to really be kind and give them the support that they need, maybe in very small walks of life. And this is how her theme that she has given us holds so much of meaning in our lives. We all should be very thankful to Kay for giving us such a wonderful, meaningful theme. Thank you, President. Kay, I would like to know that we all know, rather, in the members of Inner Wheel, that when we take the membership, we take a oath. We take a oath that we will be abiding the International Inner Wheel Constitution, right? So
Mhm.
I would like you to talk a little about the Constitution and how really it matters to every Inner Wheel member.
Oh, that's a question. I did 2 years as Constitution Chairman within Australia, and I think my background in IT and programming and in reading manuals helped me there. But I actually quite like it. I like the structure to the things that I do. I understand you do too.
Yes.
So to have the Constitution to guide, if you're interested in something, if you just something's come up and you want to know what the answer is, invariably
Yes.
it'll be somewhere in the Constitution. And actually, I just put a plug in for our new revamped Constitution online,
Yes.
which is really easy to use because you can just go to the topic that you want and press enter, and it will take you to the page you're looking for, so you don't have to search through. Although I'm a bit of a fan of the paper copy, to be quite honest. But it gives us the guidelines that we have to run by, or that we need to run by. And the reality is, if members don't agree with what's in the Constitution, they have the right to propose a change for whatever they feel needs to be changed. And of course, as you know, that's addressed or voted on at convention, which is 2027 in Manila. And we're hoping to see lots and lots of inner wheel members there. That would be fabulous. So I like the Constitution. Some people don't particularly like it, but to me, I think my life's better with guidelines. And quite often in organisations, that's a good rule to go by, that it's better if you follow the guidelines. And if you don't like them, then make a move to change what it is you think needs to be changed.
Yes, very well said. Very good light you have thrown on the Constitution, because whenever such a huge organization which has been spread in so many countries with different cultural backgrounds, educational, economic backgrounds, as she said, guidelines come handy to organize the organization. And very importantly, friends, she has also given us a good hint how to use the constitution which is online. Whenever you wish to uh, know a particular topic, you can really reach to that page. So let us try opening the online constitution book, and let's try it how to use it properly to our benefit. Also, as she has very rightly said, international innovate gives a scope and a chance, a fair chance to every Innerwheel member who has paid the membership dues to send a proposal if you don't like some points of the constitution, or you want to incorporate something new in the in the constitution. You are by all means can send proposals, and by voting you can change it, which is a very good thing to happen. And I think that is how Inner Wheel is, I always call it a very progressive organization.
I just want to clarify there that if you wanted something to change, you'd have to go to your club first and then discuss it. Those nominations really need to come through clubs and districts. Can you just imagine, with over 100,000 members, if everybody wanted to? There's a thought.
Yes, as she mentioned, our next International Innoville Convention is going to be in Manila in
27.
2027. We all will be meeting there, and you have a chance. But as we all know, Innoville is a very disciplined organization where we follow protocols. And if you wish to send the proposal, you have to reach your club first, then the district, through the association you reach the highest ladder of Innoville, that is International Innoville, where it goes, rests, gets scrutinized, and then it comes up for voting. Am I right, Kay?
And well, after it's scrutinised and accepted, it goes out as a proposal, but then we can make amendments to them. So if you don't agree with
Yes.
what the proposal says, so for instance, say it says if you're elected to a particular post, you can do it for 3 years, and somebody thinks, no, that's too long, or perhaps they think that's not long enough, then they can put in amendment to that proposal. So,
Yes.
and on it goes.
Yes, that is a beautiful exercise to do. And I would like to say it that we all love to go for international Innovate conventions, because it's really a learning experience, and meeting friends and expanding the horizons of your friendship, your learning. You feel that you're walking with the world. That's a very important feeling. At least I get that feeling when I'm at the international Innovate conventions. Now that Kay, you are here in the chair of.
Excuse me, that's the first time you've just called me Kay rather than Madam President. Thank you. Took a while.
I would like to tell our Madam President that when we are speaking to our International Innovate President, we take a great pride in addressing you as Madam President. And here you are, one of the most friendly president, that you asked us to call you by your first name, K. Of course, as I remember, all the presidents so far, as I remember, Chris was there or Trish was there. They're also very friendly and always insisted on this. But again, to underline that we get a great pleasure and pride to call you or address you as Madam President.
Thank you.
As now that you are here playing a role of President International Innoville, do you ever think in terms of which are the strong associations of international Innoville, or which are the associations or clubs or countries which need more attention or more help? Um,
No, not really. I mean, obviously the bigger ones are stronger because they're stronger in their membership numbers. But and some of the smaller countries, I mean, new countries like Japan and UAE, like in Dubai, we
Yes.
actually now have clubs in both those areas, and they will probably need support. We don't tend to go in and boss them around, as it were, but they know that the channels are open. If they have inquiries, that they can send it through. And generally, our admin, Alan, is there. He is excellent
Yes.
To send those inquiries to whoever's best in the best position to manage them. But I think really, I mean, the bigger countries and the more established countries as well, like I know that India, when you have the largest numbers in India,
True.
largest membership. And some of I know in Australia we have some of the oldest clubs as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
And so don't need quite so much support, but now and again something comes up that, where there's perhaps two people have different ideas about something.
True.
And, somebody needs to point them in the right page of the Constitution and handbook or whatever it needs to happen to so that everybody's on the same page.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really great to know. So countries or newly established clubs in countries definitely get a support from International Innovil.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can reach them directly till you have non-districted clubs which can directly communicate with International Innovil.
The non-districted clubs will be actually looked after by a board director. So there's 16 board directors.
Yes.
This year, 4 of our board directors are working on a special project,
Yes.
but the other 12 they'll have a number of non-districted clubs allocated to them, and their responsibility is to make sure those clubs are okay. Do they need anything? How can we help you? What are your projects? What are you doing? Yeah, that sort of thing. So the interaction for non-districted clubs, goodness me, that's a challenge. Yes. For non-districted clubs is through the board directors. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And they report to the vice president and to the executive, and
yes.
Yeah.
And that is how it reaches to the executive committee of the International Innovil. And probably then it's discussed, and whatever the solutions are thought of and are actions are taken accordingly. This is how the governing body and the executive committee of the International Innovil works. For our knowledge, this is very, very interesting. Now, one more question always comes to our mind whenever new president, a new leader comes into the chair, that what changes that leader is going to bring about in our organization. Do you have any such changes which you feel you would like to implement or introduce in our organization?
So you're talking about this structural changes. I'm not sure.
Structural changes or changes in the way we are doing our charity projects, or changes in some administrative matters.
There are a couple of administrative things that we're juggling around at the moment, but I think I wouldn't assume to instruct or to interfere with the way most clubs do their charity work. I am absolutely astounded at some of the things that happened. For instance, yesterday I had the pleasure of attending a school for deaf and dumb children who are obviously dumb just simply because they're deaf and they can't hear. With the Inner Club of Pune downtown, and there were 40 children in the room. None of them could hear and none of them could speak. And they put on a concert. The girls danced. The boys did karate, and they showed us some of the things that they did. The school is absolutely amazing. And when they were dancing, I actually had tears in my eyes just watching these. They can't hear, but they were following their teacher, and they were actually dancing in time to music that we could hear,
yes,
but they couldn't. It was just amazing. It brought a tear to my eye. And so clubs are all around the world are doing amazing things. In this instance, it's 40 children that are affected, but you multiply that by the number of any world clubs in the world, we make a huge difference. And I would encourage, but I would never put myself in a position where I would be instructing them what they should be doing. They do a really fine job. I'll support them.
Here is our very, very humble and a democratic leader, I should say. And we all must learn from this at all levels, the leadership at all levels, I think. How the president of International Innovils thought processes, as she said very well, all the clubs are doing fantastic work, the charity projects, and each project matters, each project counts. So whatever according to her they are doing fine, they are doing best.
You don't need me to stick my nose in.
And this is how she would like to put it. As a leader, would you like to give any advice to Innovil members? Not to the leaders as such, but they are just the members of the club. They come to the club, join the club with a great hope of having some charity work done and having some good friends over. What message would you like to give them?
I think sometimes when we get new members, they sit back a little bit because it's a foreign environment for them. They don't know many people. They might be along there because their neighbour or friend or relatives invited them. So perhaps I would encourage them. Okay, but then again, they're not going to put their hand up or step forward unless somebody in the room does it. So it's not something for them. It's something for the rest of the club members to actually step up, to actually put your hand out and say, we need somebody to do this particular job. We think you'd be good at it. Would you like to try?
Yes.
That sort of thing, to encourage softly, not say, well, you're doing it, but encourage them to take on a role or something like that, because we all know once you get involved, that's when the magic happens,
Yes,
when the inner
true.
world magic happens, when you get involved.
Yes. Very true, very true. As our Madam President has said it, that's the magical point or in time when the magic of Inner Wheel happens. And as she said, message that she has given to all the members is that whenever there is a new member, a new entrant to the club, gently push her into the fold without imposing our say to her. And that is how the magic begins, and we will have that member sticking to Inner Wheel for over a long period of time.
Of course.
I think so, yeah. Thank you so much, Kay. Now that I asked you about your little advice to the grassroots level general member, I would also like to know what few advices you would like to give to the leaders of Inner Wheel at every level that they are working. Club has a club president and a committee. District has a district executive committee. National governing body has their executive committee, and so is International Inner Wheel. What advice would you like to impart to them?
I think we all should just remember what it felt like when we were new. And for some of us, it's a long time ago. But I can still remember the feeling I had when I walked into my first Inner Wheel meeting. It was in the Inner Wheel Club of Berwick, and it was held at a hotel, as we called it, the Cardi Pub. And the room was just abuzz with noise and laughter, and women some I knew who they were, but we weren't acquainted particularly. I'll never ever forget that feeling, and I've never lost it. But it's I've almost forgotten the question. Oh, okay. So if you're in a leadership role, remember what it's like before you get into the leadership role. Remember how you felt, and so lead people, lead your committee, lead your members, and it's the same at all levels. So lead them by doing the right thing and by encourage them. So leading them by example, but also by encouraging them, you can do this. You'd be great at it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's the job of a leader, and a president and a district chairman and the national governing body president and the international president. That's our job.
That's very rightly said. She has really given us a great insight that leader must encourage to her team and should try to extract the best out of her team
Absolutely.
members. And she also should never forget that how she felt or how she was before coming into the leadership role, and that feeling she should never forget,
No.
and should treat everybody with
Remember what
fairness.
it's like, so you know
It's
how they
like,
feel.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's a great thing. As we all know, International Inner Wheel or Inner Wheel is a very effective social organization, and at the same time, we have our status in UN. We would like to know a little bit about it from you.
I had the pleasure of visiting the UN in February. That's not true. It must have been March, April, early this year, with our UN rep. One of the New York UN reps was Martine Gayon, gorgeous Inner Wheel member, and she encouraged me, or she actually advised me of the meetings that were going to be happening at the UN in New York. And I chose to attend the 69th session on the Commission for the Status of Women, and it was the most amazing thing to be a part of. You feel as though you're part of history when you go into that assembly building. It's amazing. I snuck into the assembly hall before anyone was supposed to and took a photo, and then got told by the guard I wasn't supposed to be there, but never mind. But the things that women put up with, the things that women are forced into, the terrible things that happen to women, and yet women still get up and move on. It was enlightening. It was a roller coaster ride, the whole thing. And I actually came to the conclusion, because I've listened to news before, and I've thought to myself, where's the UN in all this? What are they doing? And I've come to the realization that they actually don't have political power, but what they do have is people power. They have the power of everybody's voice, and we're part of that through the Economic and Social Council of the UN. And so, along with other volunteer organisations, women's organisations in this instance, but we do make a difference, and we understand everybody's problems. We spend time at these sessions, and we go back to our organisations or to the governments, because a lot of the women who are here actually are represented, who were there, not here, are representatives of their country. So they go back, and they've got the stories to tell. They've got the information that's needed to change the minds of the politicians in countries, to make laws to protect women. And so the UN actually has an amazing power. It has the power of the people, and it has the power of everybody's voices.
Very true. Yes, I think as a International Inner Wheel Vice President, you play the role of going there and representing International Inner Wheel in UN, as you very well said. And I'm sure that must be a very prestigious feel when you are stepping into the assembly hall of UN, and it must be a very honorable, unforgettable moment to you as a vice president of International Inner Wheel.
Absolutely. It's humbling, because as a child I remember hearing about the UN. I remember the UN Secretary General, and like I've been in the same room as him now. I've seen him, I've heard him speak. And it's absolutely humbling.
Humbling, yes. And I think our viewers, our members should take pride in understanding that we are there. We have a representation in UN, and International Inner Wheel Vice President, besides the representatives, has a chance to go there and attend the assembly of UN. That's a very prestigious thing and an achievement for Innoville to have to
Absolutely.
its credit. Am I right, President K?
Absolutely. And we have our representatives. We have, let me get this right, 3 in Vienna, 2 in New York, and 2 in Geneva. Or it
Yeah.
could be 2 in Vienna and 3 in Geneva.
Yes.
I'm not actually sure. I've got that a bit mixed up.
We've got 7 of them.
Yes.
7
Yeah.
of them, yes.
And they send when they attend sessions, they send reports in to the Vice President. The reports can be found on the International Inner-Wheel website. And they're quite often, depending on what it is, quite often they're discussed at executive meetings and
Yes.
the board meeting.
Yes, that's wonderful, and this itself gives us a kind of a understanding that as an Innoville member, we must visit our website, International Innoville website, and we must try to extract as much information as we need, and we should align our actions also sometimes with what decisions are coming or taking up at the International Innoville level, or we are going with the principles or decisions of UN, and that will give a little insight to all our members, leaders at club level when they are planning their projects as well. Thank you very much, President K, for giving us the information about the UN. I always have one question in mind, and I'm sure many of the Innoville members have that question in their mind, that there are very many organizations, women's organizations, say like Soroptimist is there. There is very powerful charitable organization or a social organization, which we all know is Rotary International or Lions International. Many a times, many of our members express the views that uh, Innoville is really known even in women as much as the Rotary is known. What are your views about it?
So you're saying that it's not, Inner Wheel's not as well known as you, and I don't think it is. I'm just clarifying what you are.
Everyone feels that Innoville is not as much known as these organizations.
Yeah, and that's our fault.
Yeah.
That's, Rotary's more, well, Rotary's been going longer, in all honesty, and Rotary has more members, and we're sort of the young sister. However, the promotion of Inner Wheel is in our hands. So when we do things, we need to wear something that says, I'm a member of Inner Wheel. Ask me about Inner Wheel.
Yes.
Are you? Yeah, that sort of thing. And we need to have. I know that the Indian girls do it. Indian clubs do it really well. Have a banner up
Yes.
that says Inner Wheel Project of or something. Quite often, I'm not really sure what happens in lots of other countries, but quite often there's an opportunity to put something to promote Inner Wheel. And we just don't take up the opportunity. I think we need to, I don't know. If I knew the answer to this, I'd be, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how to get the message out there, but no one's going to do it if we don't.
Yes, Madam President, as you have very well narrated, if we want Innoville to be very, very popular, known to various segments of the world and the society, we, the members of Innoville, have to work for it. Am I right, President?
We do. It's in our hands. It's our organisation, and we need, like, if you've got a business, you need to get out there and tell people what you've got and what you're selling or what you're doing, what service you're providing, and that's what we need to do. We need to get out there and promote Inner Wheel, and it's. I mean, all our families know what Inner Wheel is because we talk Inner Wheel and they see what we do in Inner Wheel. And I'll share with you a story about one of my grandsons. He's now 22, but I think at the time he was probably about 20.
Mm-hmm.
And he's he knows what I do in Inner Wheel. He's a Rotary and Inner Wheel child. And we were in a car and somebody with 2 of his friends, and he said something about Rotary. And one of these boys says, "What's Rotary?" And my grandson very beautifully says, "That's the boys' side of Inuil," which just, I thought, we all need see. He's got the message
Yes.
because he's been living with Inuil all of his
Inuvial,
life.
yes, true.
But we need to get the message out there, and we can only do that by talking, by getting in our local newspapers, by promoting when we actually do service, either sending it to the newspapers to get them to follow up with a story, or and promoting when we're there what we are. So it's in our hands.
Very true. Very well said. And so we know that how important it is uh, to have an effective branding of Innoville through each and every member of Innoville to make it more prominent. And I hope by now most of us have realized it and we are working in the positive direction. That's a very good positive change nowadays. I see in the mindset of our members that even the members at grassroots level have realized that they need to do the branding of Innoville. That's a very good thing to happen. Also, I would like to know, Kay, that in spite of we are doing so many charity or social projects to bring about positive changes in the lives of people, at the same time, do you feel that Innoville needs to have a little more interaction in the local ruling or government bodies?
Well, and from that, I can only speak from experience. So, in Australia, governing bodies, I mean, they will give grants and etc. like that. They will support for specific things but and quite often they look to Innerwheel for our support if they're having a function or something or other, and we'll be able to cater for it, and they will pay us, and we can use that money for charitable purposes, that sort of thing.
Yes.
We would never get to the point where we had any influence in the governance side of local government at all.
Yes.
But for instance, so if I can just touch on the Orange the World that's coming up, that comes up in November.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the city next to where I live, they're approaching the local government and asking asking them if they can orange the main building of it's the cultural centre, and if they can have that in orange for that period of time. And so what that will do is we'll get newspaper coverage for it, and people will be going past asking what it is. That's an opportunity that we've got to say, well, this is Innerwheel working in support of United Nations initiative to orange the world during the 25th of November and the 10th of December, in protests against violence against women.
Yes. And that's a wonderful initiative, as we all know. And when we are talking about Innoville and the government interface, I remember even last year when Orange the World movement, we were trying to make it, as you said very well, the city near you has decided or is asking them to paint it orange. So we had many rallies with orange banners or wearing orange t-shirts or something like that to kind of project that Orange the World is a UN initiative. International Innoville is there to support
Supporting
it.
it.
And all over the world, all Innoville members should look forward to this. And violence against women is a burning issue in all the societies, and we need
All
to stand
countries.
with it. All countries.
Yeah.
I was amazed when Madam President was informing me about how it is such a vital topic or such a vital burning issue, even in the developed countries.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I would like to know that in a wheel, always we feel that for bigger charity projects, we want to, at club level, our clubs are having their own charities and they bring in money and they do the projects that they feel are important to their local areas. But in Innovale, is Innovale thinking in terms of having some kind of a backup finance to finance the big charity projects of Innovale in any part of the
You mean
world?
is International
In
Innerwheel doing that?
International Innovale may not do the projects as we know, but will they finance the projects
Well,
which?
we do have a disaster fund that clubs globally will donate to, and then I think there was a lot dispersed through. There was the Ukraine, but I think also Turkey, if I'm not mistaken, and I shouldn't have said that because I'm actually not quite sure, but I know that it's been dispersed on request.
Mhm.
And the good thing about that is that it goes to inner-wheel clubs in the area so that we know that everything that is sent is used appropriately, every cent. There's nothing wasted. But International Innerwheel doesn't have the staff or the wherewithal to run anything itself, but we can administer funds that are donated by clubs.
Mhm.
But nationally, it's pretty much the same thing nationally. I don't think do you know any countries that have a national project? I do,
Yeah.
because Australia has one, but I'm not sure if we're unique in that.
We do not have, at least in India, as far as India is concerned, whenever there are necessities, like as you said, disaster management fund. Like when I was the NR, there was a flood in one of the states of India, Kerala,
Mhm.
and then quite a few villages were washed off with the flood. And at that time, what we do as a NR or as a association president, we raise an appeal to all the clubs
Mm.
to give the donations, and then we create a fund only for that particular situation.
Yeah.
And then we do the projects, and after that, that fund gets closed.
And if the information that accompanies the request
Yeah.
is it needs to tug at one's heartstrings.
Yes, true.
And if it does that, then people will support it.
Yeah, it's very true, because when we are talking of the inner wheel and its international encompassing, then I think this is necessary wherever the disaster is. The disaster is for a
Mm.
humankind,
Mm.
so mankind, and we all should stand by it. I was trying to divert your attention to the fact, in fact, that we should never compare how one organization is and how what others are doing, because their ideologies, their goals, reaches, everything can be different. Even the gender matters
Absolutely.
a lot. International Inner Wheel is all women's organization, and in spite of struggling with many difficulties in life, women are again standing up, and in spite of having these difficulties, coming up to invest their time and money for betterment of the world, which is also not less. But here we always talk about Rotary Foundation, and they give huge matching grants, and everybody feels, oh, they are giving a lot of money. Rotary gives a lot of money to clubs and to districts, and that is why huge projects are coming up.
So you're saying should International Innerwheel do something similar? Is that what you were thinking? Is that the question?
Question is actually, many members feel that they should, why, I mean, in all these years now, we have completed 100 years of Inner Wheel, and
101.
yes, 101 to be very precise. We are in the 102nd year of Inner
Yeah.
Wheel, and is any time the leadership thinking about creating such kind of funds?
No, well, not to my knowledge. So,
Mhm.
but then the other, I mean, Rotary have significant resources at their disposal.
Yes.
Rotarians pay a lot of money in their capitation fees.
Yes.
I mean, that's the start. And they've always had more members than we did. I don't know whether that's the case. So, you just do the math. So
Yes.
they've got more funds at their disposal.
Yes.
So they've got and invested wisely, I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
And so for the Polio Plus thing that they
Yes.
did, and that's amazing. But it's good financial management on their behalf.
Yeah.
But they meet weekly. It's just a whole. I don't really think you can compare Inner Wheel with Rotary.
With Rotary.
Really,
Yes.
we don't meet weekly. We don't pay the cap fees that they
Yes.
pay.
Yes.
There's so much that they do that we don't do.
We don't do. Yes. Here lies the answer for us.
Sorry, there's a lot that we do that they don't do too.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes, that is also very important. That as I started my statement with saying that every organization has different aspirations, goals to attain, and as she said very rightly, yes, there are few things which we do they are not doing, and we should not compare ourselves with them, but at the same time we must understand that international inner wheel or inner wheel as such also believes in personal service, and that is I think the foundation stone of our organization.
Well, friendship and
Friendship and
service
and service. Yes. Now I would like to ask a very funny question to you.
Okay.
You are here now as an international inner wheel president, and you are going to be here for 1 year. So are you happy that you are going to be in the chair for 1 year, or you feel that, oh my god, I have just come into the chair and so many things to do, so many thoughts to
I think that
implement.
already. I think all that already.
Yes, and now this 2 months have gone since the day that you have done your changeover in the month of July. I mean 30th of June, if I'm to be precise,
Yeah,
right? And the entire July month is gone. Now we are talking about August. Today it is 21st of August. And do you ever feel that just 12 months tenure or a period for any leadership to have effective implementation of the thoughts and ideas is less, or what is your
Okay.
perception?
So, bottom line, would I like to do 2 years in a row? The answer, 2 letters, no. It's a very, very busy year. There's a lot coming at you from different angles, and I like all my everything's tidy and finished and complete, so I can be awake at 1:00 in the morning and then getting up to do emails because I can't stop thinking about what it is I need to get done. So I couldn't, and there's a lot of there's absolute joy in the visits, like this visit here and the friendship that we've already built just over a couple of days.
True.
And that's fantastic. But it's a very full-on year. I think at the moment, I have 17 countries to visit during this 12 months. And
so you answer my next question as well. How many countries you've decided to visit?
17.
Yes.
So I can't imagine. You just burn out. You wouldn't be effective, I don't think, in the second year. Unless that was the only thing you did. So you would have to ignore family and any other responsibilities and just live in a will, then you could do it. But I don't think that's necessary. I think probably if we're saying that continuity is an issue, I think that when the vice president comes on board, that the vice president and the president probably should be more cohesive, should spend more time together and discuss what's happening this year so that the vice president has some input into what happens this year so she can carry it on next year. Or you could say that the president takes on what the vice president wants to do the following year, so that then there would be a bit of some continuity through the 3 years. True. But apart from that, I don't think there is anybody who would be happy to take it on and do a good job of it for 2 years.
True. You have thrown a perfect light on whether one would like to continue for the next year. But at the same time, I liked your answer very much when you said that, in fact, the president and the vice president should have such a cohesive teamwork
and the immediate
thinking
past.
And immediate past as well. So she's giving her inputs. The president in the chair is actually sitting there to implement the ideas
Mm.
or the goals of international Innoville. At the same time, the vice president is always in the picture. If cohesive team works, then there is no question of there is any irregularity or not having any continuity in management or the programs that
Mm.
international
Well, that
Innoville.
that takes us back to what we were saying in the first place about leadership,
Yes.
about being the leader of the team, and in this case,
Yes.
that's the one in the middle. It's the leader
Yes.
of the team of
Yes.
three, but with support from this buddy who's been there and done it, and input from this lady who actually has some ideas as to what she wants to do and
Yes.
is happy to take on what's happening now
Yes.
and build on it with hers. So,
Yes.
that it can be. I think at the moment it is a little bit too. It's fractured because we finish one year and then that's all done, and then we have this year and then we do what we do this year, and then the theme for next year will be different, and so then it's something else again, and so it's a bit difficult for clubs that are getting involved in something, and then
True.
all of a sudden.
True.
Having said that, I know that last year. Everybody knows last year it was cervical cancer vaccination.
True.
But with this year, there's no reason why you can't still do it. You don't have to stop doing what you're doing there because it's an amazing thing, but it's just not. I just wanted something that included all clubs in all countries, and cervical cancer vaccination is really important, but it doesn't affect every country. See, it's the European countries and Australia, New Zealand, America, a lot of countries it doesn't affect. So it was hard for our members in those countries to get involved in it. So I think I just was, but that doesn't mean that we stop doing it. It just means it's not an international focus. That's all it means.
Yes,
Yeah.
true, very true. And here is a hidden message for the leaderships at all levels of Innoville, that finally it's a teamwork that matters. If you want Innoville ideologies to be very, very successful, then what is necessary is to take the inputs from the past, the present is there, and then the person who is coming afterwards, she's the future. And if the cohesive action is there, it's not necessary, according to our Madam President, to carry on for the next year's presidentship. That's a very, very important message that she has given us, that building a team is very, very important in social organizations like Innoville. Am I right, Kate?
I think so.
Yes. And now, since we are coming close to our conversation, it has been a wonderful thing to understand how Inner Wheel works at levels, and what is your perception about it, and what kind of a leader you are, and you are setting up a example in front of all the leaderships which we have all over the world. It has been a very, very wonderful speaking to you, dear Madam President. Now, I would like to ask you that as a president, what message you would like to give it to our members?
A separate message, but I think we've messaged ourselves for about an hour. But really, just step up and lead by example. Do whatever it takes to focus on Inner Wheel, so that ladies want to find out what it's about, want to come along to a meeting, can see that you're having fun, can see that you're doing good work. Maybe you've attracted their attention just by smiling at them in the supermarket or something like that. But we need to grow our organisation so that more women can enjoy what we enjoy. So that's about it.
Thank you so much. It has been really, really wonderful to have your views on many aspects of Innoville today: the membership, the leadership, how the leadership should be, what kind of projects we are doing, and how we are different than the other organizations, how we should not compare ourselves with other organizations, how our website works, how our constitution works, how we have our international conventions, and what's the importance of it. our association or our representation, I would say, a very proud thing to happen in UN and ECOSOC, how we have our own say in that through our representation. It's a lot of information you have given us today through this interview. I'm indeed very, very thankful to you for sparing a very valuable time of your, in fact, a personal visit to your friend's house here in Pune, and I have stolen good half a day from that. I'm sure our friend Prochi Batliwala, she happens to be your friend, and yourself will pardon me for stealing away this important time from your personal schedule.
I just swapped time with one friend for time with a new friend.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I wish you a wonderful stay here in Pune, and then your wonderful visits to other six districts in India that we are looking forward to. And let me tell you that the entire Innoville India is just awaiting to welcome you very heartily and to meet you personally.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.